Hi there, it's Dr. Bidi of the Newborn Prep Academy, and today I thought I'll talk about an interesting interaction the other day in the exam room between a mom and dad of a newborn. It was their first baby, and I could tell like mom was really stressed out, and I mean, which is moms of newborns are oftentimes, stressed, understandably. But it just seemed like she was more stressed than usual, and it didn't seem like there was anything. And it didn't seem like she was particularly worried about the baby either. She didn't say, wasn't complaining about anything wrong with the baby. So I said, "What's going on? What's wrong with you?" And I could tell there was a little bit of tension between mom and dad. So I probed a little bit more, and it turned out that the dad was just very anxious about his his son's health, and just would wake up multiple times at night to make sure he was breathing and to make sure he was fine. And if he made a little small noise that was just not usual, he'll fuss and worry about it, and wake her up to make sure it was okay. And they'd made a couple of trips to the ER already over the way his breathing sounded, and turned out he was just fine. And mom had told him he was fine, but he didn't believe it. And so she was just stressed because she wasn't getting any sleep from being woken up multiple times at night by a very anxious dad. And that was kind of interesting because it's usually the other way around, where mom is super worried and anxious, and dad is not as much. So I did take some time to go over things with both of them, and for the most part actually took out time to allay dad's fears, to really address what his concern was. I took out time to listen to him, to reassure him that his son was fine, that there was really nothing wrong with him, that the noises he was hearing are quite normal with newborns. They're oftentimes not breathing as quietly as they are made out to do in the movies and in ads on TV, and what we just feel newborns should sound like. They oftentimes don't sound that way. But I thought it was an interesting interaction because that may be happening to someone watching this video right now, where mom is not as worried as dad, and dad is so worried, where he's really his concern, though well-founded, or I shouldn't say well-founded, though understandable, and certainly okay for him to be worried about his son, but where it starts to impact mom's health, should be something that should be addressed, right? And so, how do you handle that as a mom if your partner is really super worried, and you are not as much, and you feel like the son, like your baby's fine, but they are not as reassured? A couple of things. I think one is, first of all, to seek some help. All right. First of all, just be honest with the way you feel with your partner, and let them know that you are being impacted by their level of anxiety. Number two is to seek some help, right? Because if I hadn't probed in that examination room, a mom would not have said anything, and they would have gone back to the same sort of tension at home, and have gone back to the same dynamics where he was really super worried and she didn't know what to do. So I would say seek some help. Your partner has a concern because you're concerned, because they're anxious because you're concerned. And I think if you can get them help in the sense of someone being able to sit down with them, listen to what their concerns are, and provide some answers that reassures them, then they are, it's not going to wipe away the anxiety entirely, but at least it's more likely to temper it down, where maybe they do allow you to get some sleep at night. So I think, again, is seeking some help. And number three, time. It usually passes. Even as a pediatrician, I'll be honest, I woke up quite a number of times at night to make sure my first baby, our daughter, was breathing. And even though, I know that the chances are she's fine, but I was just worried, is this that one child out of, hundreds of thousands who ends up having SIDS, so we're as new parents, you worry, and it's not entirely on unreasonable for you to be worried. But again, when it starts to impact your partner and their health, and their ability to care for the baby, I think it's something that should be addressed. Now, if it's the other way around, where mom is super worried and dad is not as worried, maybe I'm a little bit more forgiving, but I do same thing also take our time to address all of mom's concerns, because I think when someone hears you out and they're able to give you reasonable explanations for what is cause for worry and what is not, it does help to some degree. All right, well, I thought I'll share that with you. Hopefully this is helpful for someone out there who has a newborn and one of the partners is super worried. I hope that helps. Okay, again, this is Dr. Obidi of the Newborn Prep Academy. Wherever you're watching this, there are going to be links to resources that are useful to you. Just go ahead and click around, and if you have any questions or any topics you would love for me to address, go ahead and shoot me a message. Drop me a message. Okay, all right, take care till next time. Bye.